I'm originally from the Pacific Northwest. I was born and raised in the Layton Lake District Reserve. Rings a bell? Oh, you're there. Great job, Agent. Our teams have a nickname for that location, the Maple Spot. Yep, exactly. That same reserve you visited back then. This probably gives you a big clue as to who my surprise guest is. I realize this might be dangerous, but your next mission is to collect the maple syrup buckets. You'll spot them easily. They're metal buckets hanging on maple trees. Good luck out there. Fair warning, though. He can be a little gruff and reserved. Unless you get him started on black bears or unethical hunters, then he won't shut up. His name? Carlton Locke, a.k.a. my old man. Everyone always calls him Doc. Even my mom. I never understood why. Thank you. Know that I appreciate your efforts. There's one last thing we need to... Sorry, I can't keep a straight face anymore. Here's the reason. We're preparing souvenirs for all participants as a thank you for all their contributions to supporting the reserve. That way everyone goes home with a little taste of New England. That's all. If you don't mind, could you drop it off at the nearest outpost? Let me see. Okay, there's one in that valley. Just follow the river west. You would really be doing me a solid.
Yep, where I just come from a bit.
By the way, I have another very important request for you. Hikers have reported spotting wood devils in the reserve lately. Which is strange, because no one in this area has seen one for years. There used to be a lot more of them in these forests, I heard. They're quite elusive, so only an expert tracker like you might be able to spot one. If you do, make sure you take a photo. I'll need it for my next video. I count on you.
Okay, how do I get in here? Undoubtedly not that way.
Hey, I realize I barely gave you any info on wood devils earlier. My bad. Maybe you've never heard of them, because they're endemic to New England and, well, they're almost extinct, unfortunately. They're mammals, slender build, gray fur. Thing is, they're tough to spot, even when you're close to them. They're extremely nimble, and they tend to hide behind trees when spooked, so you want to focus your search mainly in wooded areas. Hope this helps.
Maybe.
Good. Thanks a lot. I'll have Holly pick them up when she's back from Nashua. Sorry, I don't usually ask visitors to help with regular warden tasks, but we're short-staffed this week.
Take a picture of a wood devil.
All right. There's one last thing that you need to know about wood devils. One of their main characteristics, in fact. They're utterly and totally made up. It's a small prank we like to play on newcomers. I make sure to come clean after a short while, though. Don't want to waste anyone's time. It's basically the New England version of the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Some people claim they saw one, especially in the 19th and 20th centuries, but there hasn't been any scientific evidence. There's always a small chance it could be an undiscovered species, but it's pretty unlikely if you ask me. Many of our visitors love local myths and folklore, and so do I. It's a great way to share cool stories about my second home.
Okay. Without
Hello,
digging anything.
is this thing working? Can you hear me? Doc here. How are things, old friend?
Pretty good.
My son Trevor told you I was visiting, right? Haven't been here in years. Last time, Trev was so proud to show me around, and we found some peaceful remote spots we loved. Sorry, I don't remember where they are exactly. We took a few photos back then, and I sent them in the mail a few days ago. I think Trev left the pictures at an outpost for you, in case you'd like to check out those spots for yourself.
Okay. Collect dogs photos. Okay, is that a new mission? Yeah, it's a story mission too, so. Okay. We'll go to that one.
This
Collect.
reserve is something else. I get why Trevor chose to settle down here. Me, Layton Lake is where I've lived my whole life, and that's where I'll finish my days, that's for sure. Not much has changed since your last visit, which is a good thing in my book. Hope's still the same, still off the grid and all. Once in a while we have a drink or two at his camp. Me? Same old, same old. Layton's always keeping me busy. I gotta say, I wish every hunter was more like you. Feels like all I do is go through the basics with rookies. It's vital that if you injure an animal, you find it and do not allow it to suffer. I feel like a broken record sometimes. I'm sure even Trev heard me say that over and over. I wanted to fax you the pictures, but, they don't use those anymore. It's a shame. Fax machines are a lot more reliable than all the new devices that young people use these days. Even if the power goes off, the recipient
Will always receive their copy, smudges included.
Oh, hey, Trev. How's it going, son? I was just telling our friend about the pictures of our favorite spots.
I'll need to see those photos, too. I didn't have the beard then, but you had the handlebar stash, of course.
Talking now. Get pictures.
I hope you can make time to go hunting with your old man. What do you think?
Sure, of course. It's a very busy time with the video, the reserve, and home stuff, too, but I'll make time.
Good. I know how it is, so don't worry about me if it doesn't work out. New England has a fascinating history. Hunting was very different in the early 19th century, too. Back then, they had to hunt to feed their families.
Yeah, people would hunt with muzzle loaders or bows. I have an idea. Maybe we should try that out if you're up for it. Hunting like in the olden days.
Good that you found the pictures. That's my little present for you. Believe me, those places are worth the detour. So let me know what you think.
I'm really happy you came to visit, Dad. Can you believe the last time you were here was, 7, 8 years ago?
You can't really take a vacation when you're a warden. At least we meet up every year at Christmas. Better than nothing.
How long are you staying, by the way? Hopefully more than a couple days this time?
I don't know. It's hunting season over at Layton, too, so I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's no shortage of Baddens in every reserve, so you always gotta keep an eye on them.
Same old done. Is that all the story missions now?
I have another favor to ask of you,
Nope.
and you're the one whose expertise I trust the most, my friend. I'll compensate you fairly for your efforts, of course. I would need you to take a picture of a carcass left behind by a red fox. There's this particular need zone I know of. That way you don't have to look around for ages. Just a second. Let me send the info to your hunter mate. Thanks for your help.
Need zone. Oh, it's way over to the northwest. Okay, well, it's way up there, so no outpost close by, so I'll have to run all the way. Okay, be back when I get close. That is a story mission, I think. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I have this section on red foxes. I'm going for something easy and accessible, so I'm describing their behavior, eating habits, impact on ecosystems, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can learn a lot about the red fox just by studying the carcasses it leaves behind. And a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Challenges than competitions per se. There's a wide selection of them you can take part in at any time. Skill shooting, weight challenges, among others. Since our challenges are quite popular, the admission fees are important to support our teams of rangers, researchers, etc.
I guess that's how you're maintaining a healthy animal stock then. So how do you go about preventing overhunting?
We screen participants carefully, and we try to foster a culture we call add more than you take out. That's why we have the notice boards. Hunters are encouraged to carry out as many good deeds on the reserve as animals they've hunted. It's on their own terms. They choose what they want to do and when.
It's a good system, as long as it does its job. Make people aware of their impact on nature.
Good. Remember, what the photo should feature is a carcass left by a red fox. I just need one. It'll be a great visual aid for my talk.
Alright, almost up here to this spot. Take a picture. Carcass. Should be something here somewhere. Where is it? Should be something around here. Find a red box track or something. Turkey, turkey, turkey. should be something around here unless you have to do it at a certain time. Bobcat. Okay, when I find something, I'll be back. Oh, okay, it's right there where the arrow is. I just didn't see it.
How's it going with your hunting videos on the web? You still doing those?
Yeah, you bet. It's awesome being able to reach people all around the world and introduce them to hunting, wildlife conservation, environmental threats.
It's impressive that you're still able to put so much energy into it. I wouldn't be able to do that on top of my responsibilities as a warden.
The way I see it, there are two sides of the same coin. I can't live in my own little bubble and hope for the best. I love sharing what I know, and I listen to people in return. That's the best I can do.
Is that all of the story missions now? The main missions, anyway. Yeah, okay.
Bad news. One of the farmers in the south just called. They've been seeing a bear roaming around their farm. Understandably, they're worried.
$5 says that some tourists have left behind some food and trash. I get that at least once a month at Layton.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Someone has to go pick up all the leftovers, but also be watchful for bears. They tend to be aggressive when they're hungry.
Could you take care of that old friend? Remember that this could be dangerous, so make sure you're ready.
Is that another story mission? Yep. Okay, go to the location of the first bear sighting. Way down that way. Okay, spawn in here. Go to it. Okay, spawn in here. Go to it.
Speaking of food, Dad, there's moose stew on the menu tonight with wild berries and cranberry sauce on the side. Hunted and cooked by yours truly.
Nice. Just like back home. Hey, how's Sam, by the way? How are things at the hospital?
It was really tough at a few points, but it's better now. We're also making good progress on the house. We're almost done with the structural works.
It's good to hear that you're able to catch a break. Maybe next year it's your turn to come over to Layton during hunting season.
Maybe. We'll see what we can do. A lot of things are up in the air right now.
Okay. Let's go to this bear sighting. Ah, that ain't what I wanted. Move this 300 down here in case I have to use it.
trashed camp. Seems you were right, Dad. Could you please pick up the leftovers to make sure the bears don't catch the scent and come near the farm?
Doesn't matter if that mess was caused by humans or bears. It's always our fault anyway. We should know better.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. It may not look like it, but what you're doing is critical work, both for nature and for the safety of the people living here. The farmer mentioned one more location that they saw a bear, on the other side of the river. Could you please take a look?
There. Okay, I'm just gonna spawn right here and run around. Alright, I about made it around this lake. This next bear sighting.
More trash. I can't say I'm surprised. Good news is, once you've cleaned up that mess, the farms should be safe again.
Yeah, those who don't clean up after themselves, sometimes they're the same who complain about pollution and talk about how things used to be better. Go figure.
Thank you very much. You've really helped. What? A bear? All right, don't panic. Find a way to carefully get away from it. If it becomes aggressive, you can also go for the kill.
It's up to you. Remember, you're more than experienced enough to handle it. Evaluate the situation and the bear, and make the right call.
Handle the bear situation. So, should I shoot it or should I not? It's definitely coming after me though.
Well done. I'm relieved we sent you on that assignment. Bear encounters can quickly escalate if you don't know what you're doing.
Me too. I had a feeling. Anyway, you want to get rid of those food leftovers as soon as possible. Just drop them off at a nearby outpost and we'll take care of it.
Okay. Right in the brain. Maybe another $1,000 anyway. Oh. I can spawn back down here. Get rid of those. Of course it's outside.
So, Trev, you know, Hope and I were talking about you the other day. Like I told him, I sometimes wish you didn't live on the other side of the country. Don't you miss home?
Home. It's a fuzzy concept for me. You always have the one. Layton will always be my home, but this is my second home. I'm closing in on 20 years, and I'm happy here. There's no such thing as coming back in a situation like mine, not after so long. It's not like my old Layton life is still there waiting for me. I'd still need to start over from scratch.
I understand, I really do. I'm just worried about the reserve. I can't find anyone good enough to take over. I want to get that sorted out myself soon. You never know.
You know, Dad, regular people just say, I wish you'd call more often. I miss hanging out with you, son. You're right. I haven't called enough, and I'm sorry.
Well, you have a good point. We both know that being a warden isn't really a job you can do remotely.
And then life happens, and you procrastinate. But tell you what, you're almost here. We'll have a good time then.
Hey, is that all of the story missions now?
Sometimes the biggest threat to an environment isn't the most obvious one. In the last few years, for us, it's been an invasive plant species called perennial pepperweed.
I know that one. Tough bastard. Native to Eurasia. Introduced to North America by accident. It's become a pest all over the country.
Yeah, some areas of the reserve are affected now too, so we're recruiting volunteers to manually remove them. Better do that now before the populations become too large. Can I count on you too, my friend? I'll make it worth your time.
Guess so.
I've tagged the most affected areas on your huntermate.
Go to the first side. Okay, it's way up yonder. Or over yonder to the east. Okay, I guess I'll spawn here and run over there. Be back when I get close.
It may not sound like a very glamorous task, but believe me, invasive plants tend to suppress native species. Studies show that without proper control, they reduce natural diversity, wildlife habitat, even water quality.
Yeah, I've seen the damage the perennial pepperweed can do. It's highly competitive and very good at adapting to a wide variety of factors and soils.
Our state agencies have been coordinating local efforts, and we've been trying to educate the population.
I get it. It can be hard for the layman to grasp. How can your own little patch of land cause major stress to the whole ecosystem? That reminds me, I went on the internet the other day and I watched that video you made on invasive species. Well, it was really well made and very clear. Good job.
Oh, you did? Well, that means a lot. Thanks. Glad you found the button for the internet.
Okay, almost to the first side affected.
Awesome. Do you know what they look like? Tall, branching plants with white flower heads. Just make sure you remove the whole plant when you pull it out.
Okay. And fall.
Good. There's one more area that's badly affected, so check your hunter mate to know where to go next. Thanks.
To the north.
Well now, speaking of invasive species... Hey, Dad! Sorry, my father just arrived. I'll call you later.
There it is. Okay, I'll be back when I get close.
landmarks here, old friend?
Good idea, Dad. There, I've just sent you their locations. If you find one during your exploration, I'm happy to share some of our fascinating history.
Okay. Finish these story missions first. Go left, go all the way around this lake. Wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. I'll be back when I get around there. Getting closer. Pull these plants up.
This is the last area with high pest density. After that, we should be good to go.
5 of them. And 5.
Really good stuff. If we do the work, we can make a difference. Even if all we do is pull some weeds.
Sometimes we harm nature whenever we're ignorant, negligent, or worse, selfish. Everything we do leaves a mark, I always say.
That sounds familiar. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess. Anyway, I'm lucky I can count on volunteers such as you, my friend. You've really come through for us again.
Is that all the story mission now? They ain't gave me that one yet. Okay. Well, they ain't give it to me yet, but I'll move on to something else.